cmpradio.net. It's the station.
All right, welcome to cmpradio.net, the voice of Chester. Welcome to the wonderful world of Rich Blye, coming to you live from the studios here in Chester. How's everybody doing this weekend?
I'm doing good, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Mr. Bryce, how are you feeling, and how's the family?
Family's good. Jordan came back, right? She's here being a terrorist and beating me up and all that good stuff, which is good. I missed her.
Yes.
Right, I did.
That's great. That's
It's wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful week here. Yeah, that's good. So
You look a little nervous.
I've been told that I should practice a different type of tone that might be settling for folks to maybe gravitate towards what I'm trying to say without being aggressive.
Okay. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
White or black?
White.
Okay. That's okay. I mean, sometimes it can be seen as, what are you trying to say? That I'm scary? But at the other,
I mean, that's what here's the thing. That's what's been said.
that you're scary?
Is that I'm scary.
Supposed to be scary. After years. See, people don't realize what goes through a black man's mind when he thinks about when he's trying to get something. Because if I wasn't yelling, would you give it to me, what I'm trying to receive? So I have to yell. I have to come forceful because that's the only thing you understand. They don't.
I think that what they're trying to convey is that after years of yelling, I should revisit a point of where I started from, like go back to the beginning.
Okay. I like that though.
Because how I started was this way.
Okay.
Was calm, cool,
talking,
being able
to
converse
say
and
everything.
and have really good dialogue without it
turning nasty.
Get people thinking that I'm making it personal.
But you are. It's all personal.
No, it's a personal perspective because everything is everything. Perception is reality to the beholder.
Okay.
But not to everyone looking at your reality.
Oh.
Their perception of your reality might differ from their perception of what reality is because everybody has their form of reality. That's a free will.
Got that.
Understood.
Understood.
But in order for people, they need to find a tuning with me.
All right.
And
so calm, Rich.
They're yes. So calm, Rich is
better to understand. We got 3 viewers, so it might be working.
Listen. I want to say that this is absolutely a stretch because
Sabatino said it wasn't me.
Who said that?
Sabatino.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't me.
No, happy birthday to you. That's my sis. That's my sis.
Said it wasn't me. Get him, Rich.
No, see how people egg me on.
I'm gonna egg you on.
I know,
because I got your back.
I know.
So I'm gonna egg you on.
So tonight's segment is the Great Delco Reset. And the reason why I'm saying it's the Great Delco Reset is for two things. One is going to be talked about on the mental health side of it. Okay. And that's going to be part of our Men's Mental Health Monday discussion. That's cool. You know, as we go down there, because as we all know, men's mental health is a daily mission.
Every day.
There is no special day for it. There's no special month for it. It is men being honest with their mental health and doing positive reinforcement of themselves so they can get up and fight those daily battles that we are accustomed to, by letting people know that we have boundaries and that you're not going to step over us like you did our grandfathers and great grandfathers.
Like you're still doing us.
No, not me. Not me, brother. No, not me. Not me.
Not you.
No, I sent the message. I've already sent the message. Hold on, let me bring it out.
It's very hard.
I've already sent the message.
It's very hard for us to say not me when there are people like us being trampled over.
Yes.
It's very hard to say.
When I say not me, I'm meaning that I was one of those people.
Right.
Okay? And this is the thing, right? So this is the 5th year anniversary on July 11th of my father's passing, which was the very first significant death of my adult life. Right. And because I battle with this compounded grief syndrome of successive deaths, 7 deaths in a 4-year span. 8 deaths in a 4-year span. I haven't had the proper time that most people are used to when they come to the grief process of dealing with things. You know, as soon as I thought that I was ready to come out of my grieving, I got put right back in it. Right. And as soon as I was ready to come out of that one so I could go back and handle the other one, he came a third.
I know exactly how that feels.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, yeah. So mine started at pretty much 2020, and you know, we'll see who God calls some to glory. But at the end of the day, it's still, you know, my cross to bear and to carry, because of the way that it affected me personally. And what I say to a lot of folks, because I make this so very public about talking about men's mental health, and I use myself as the example, is that for many years, we have to hide underneath this stigma from other people and hide underneath these characteristics and hide underneath these stereotypes that say that it's not masculine for a man to talk about their mental health and what they're dealing with and how they deal on a daily basis. So I decided that I would become that person to actually talk about my experiences. And, you know, I know that there are people that want to test the theory and stuff like that, but I'm a nonviolent person. So, one of the things that people have to understand is that I'm not challenging you. I'm challenging the narrative. I'm not challenging the medical field, and I'm not challenging my therapist, and I'm not challenging psychologists. I'm not challenging you. What I'm doing is challenging myself to break past that 5th dimensional wall that has been built for us, that talks about isolation and talks about you're going to be this and you're going to be that. I think that people have to understand that there are 2 main weapons for men's mental health that is in each man's quiver, that is in your scabbard, that is in your holster. Prayer and the reading of a holy script of your belief. That is at your core. Your prayer, your faith, your study. At your core, the relief that you seek has always come in the comfort of words of wisdom that have been forever and have been taught to you, and they've been battle tested over a period of time. So at my core, that's where I start. I don't say that for everyone, because I know that everybody does not have a spiritual or faith-based belief. You can't teach that nowadays because most people don't understand the script because they don't read it themselves. It's read to them. So you can't apply it to your heart and make sure that that application works, because you're looking for somebody to put a Band-Aid on for you when healing comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. So, was that soft enough, bro? I didn't sound like I was angry in saying that, did I?
No, you sounded very calm.
Okay, all right.
Direct.
I think that people are paying attention to that.
Yeah, people are paying attention to that. I know who you can be, so I respect you taking this stance. Mm-hmm. It's not because you're getting up in age, and the last thing I would want is for you to pop a blood vessel up this joint, which could result in a stroke or a heart attack. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I want you to be here. So if calming down is what you have to do, okay, we can still, set some other things on fire.
Right. You
got some Mazel Tov cocktails. You feel me? And
yeah.
We can burn some things down though.
I like this sage concept.
Well, you burn the sage and get rid of the evil spirits.
I kind of I've kind of like, for the past 4 days, I've kind of been on a different type of mindset of I want to level up. Okay. And I keep always talking about spiraling up, that we have to spiral to another place of existence and stuff like that. Right. And like I said, the recent therapist that I had today spoke about going back to start, a reset. Not going back to start over, but going back to the start of who you were at that time.
Now, where do you want to go back to?
The start of
you, period?
Not my birth.
Okay.
But when I say the start,
how many other starts you got?
I want to say like my midlife, where I would say I had knowledge, but I had street knowledge. Mm-hmm. And then I started become more corporate than street. Mm-hmm. And the combination of those two, where I was learning to become in order to handle different things in society, not from a street view, but not so much also giving in to buying in, or how they call it, you got to have a buy-in corporately. I was never bought in. I bought in to get in.
Okay.
And then the thing about it is that it's the same thing with the street. Right. I was never bought into the street, like how, you were. See, we operate on whole different levels, no disrespect. Right. You know what I mean? But we operate on whole different levels. I was never your level. That's what I want people to understand. I wasn't boss. Right. You know what I mean? I was in betweener.
Right. Middleman. Making it work. You feel me?
I mean, making no waves. Right. You know what I mean? Making no waves, trying to be not trying to be everybody's friend, but keeping things friendly. You feel me? Keeping things friendly.
I mean,
everybody. See, the thing about it is that I didn't work for anybody doing it. You know what I'm saying? I freelanced into things. You know what I mean? I freelanced my way. Right. It was more opportunistic. It was usually when somebody was in a jam. You know what I mean? My
cousin told me I didn't have the heart for it. He said, you're too nice.
Right.
You're giving away too much.
Yeah.
You're helping too many.
Yeah.
If you had kids in the house and I came in there and I'm buying them pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not going to feed them.
Nah.
If I go in your refrigerator, open your refrigerator, and there's nothing in the refrigerator, oh yeah, we definitely order pizza. And I'm going to stay here and wait until the pizza get here.
Now, I didn't do that. What I did is that I found somebody else that wanted to feed them. And then I facilitated that type of deal, and then got something back on the back end that helped that person.
Everybody they knew was smoking. So if I left any money with anybody, they would.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. So right, because I that's what I didn't do. Right. I dealt in goods and services. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't deal in commodity. I dealt in the barter system. That good old fashioned start of the universe type of thing that got us through the 80s in that era. I dealt with the barter system. You had a commodity. I had a usefulness for it. Cash, product,
right.
Alcohol,
right.
Weed.
Right. There it is. I get it.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Stuff flowed through your fingers. You had to make a trade. And I knew who knew what. So sometimes you had to close your eyes, sometimes you had to hold your nose.
Yeah.
And that's what life was growing up back then, because unless you was a player, you wasn't seeing none of that real money.
No, you wasn't.
And that real money came at a cost.
Yes, it did.
You know what I mean? A lot of bodies dropped.
A lot of bodies.
Too many.
For all that money that was out there.
For all that money that was out there.
It was too many.
So
could have got it and built our shit up.
Man.
Easy.
Listen. And this is why I'm saying that I'm glad that I was told to go back to the beginning. Not that I'm going there to stay there. I'm going there to see what and who I really am, and how, by going to the beginning and then walking back through it. And they said it's probably going to be a fast, everything's going to like fit like cookie cutter. And then you're going to come face to face with something in your past where you made that decision and it didn't fit. And then that's going to determine what happened in the future. Because there's a lot of different things in your trauma that you unconsciously block. Like I said, there's been a number of years of a number of things in my life that have never been discussed that are about to come up for discussion.
Wow.
And there's a lot of family involved in it. And I hope that they're ready for those conversations that they never had with my mother. And this is for my aunties on my mom's side and my uncles on my mom's side. I hope that they're prepared for the conversations, and my cousins. I hope that they're prepared for the conversations, because there's been a very dramatic shift in the force in my life. And after 37 years, my baby brother has come home.
Welcome home.
Welcome home, Dondi. It's very difficult for me to face something or face my brother right now. And I know he's going to hear it. I know he's going to see this on the podcast as to where he is. Yes, Dondi, I know where you are. Yes, Dondi, I know that you're home. I know. I'm supposed to know. Nobody needs to call me. Nobody needs to talk to me. I know where to find you. I do. I know where to find my brother. I know he's in Philly. I know where he's at. Yeah. So I don't need anybody in the family to tell me what to do. When you know that this is what I do for a living. You know that I went and found my big brother in Chicago after being in 27 mental health institutions. I found him and tracked him down. You know that I tracked down my sister, kicking down abandoned crack house doors and getting her into one day at a time. So you know what I do, family. So I don't need anybody to call me and put the pressure on as far as my brother. He just got home. He's on a plan. He needs to concentrate.
He does.
He really does. He needs to concentrate, because there were certain things that he needs to concentrate on first before we sit down. There's certain things he needs to concentrate on first. And I hope that this message gets through. I hope that he sees it. I hope that my children that are speaking with him conveys this message with him, and that I will talk to him when I'm ready. I'm not ready to do that right now. I'm being very honest with it. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm avoiding the issue. I'm not. I just had to come to grips with a lot of different things that have happened. Because when you're dealing with compounded grief syndrome, this is year number 5 for the death of my father, July 11th. And in that July 11th week of therapy, I have come to grips with the death of my dad. I can honestly have that conversation now without feeling the pains of, it hurts. It doesn't hurt anymore. I still have the feelings of longing of missing my dad in certain key places, but now it's more like I know the lessons that he's taught me and I have applied them in my life, and so I can move fluidly with what he left me. So I come to that conclusion that I'm prepared to step off of that level, but I still have to deal with more rungs or rings to this tree of life. And that's still with my spiritual mother. That's still with my grandmother, my mother, my 2 sons, my cousin, my first cousin, and my brother, Brian Sharif Taylor. So it's multiple layers with this when you're dealing with compounded grief syndrome, that these are the people that in a 4 to 6 year period have significantly left an impact with my life. And you still have to balance operating a nonprofit. You still have to balance still being a community figure and leader. You still have to balance being a father. You still have to balance business relationships with folks. You still have to go out and foster, the positivity that you talk about. You still have to be a presence and be present. And behind the scenes, that takes its toll. And what people don't want to hear is the complaints or whatever. You're not getting the complaints. You're getting the complexities of what it takes. And you're looking at an example of someone who weathers this storm every single day. It's not easy every day. There are hours upon hours that I have to do that isolation thing, but not in an isolation where I'm in a depressed mode. It's now turned into an isolation, let me work on something mode. Let me put my brain in a positive function and perform a function, teach myself something, read a different type of book, study some different type of material. I treat it like the symptom that it is, sort of say like with an addict, instead of wanting alcohol or, someone, who's coming off down from withdrawals from a substance or whatever. They find different things to keep themselves from going back and falling into that particular vice. And that's what I think that I'm gaining from this therapeutic process is going back to the beginning is not me going back to saying I got to start all over again. That's impossible. Going backwards is seeing where I started again. Where did I start again? Where did this start again? And then seeing what has fit through the years because I've forgotten certain things. So I need a reset. So with this Men's Mental Health Monday, we're going to talk about that. But once again, Delaware County on their reset has had their servers hacked. And your information might be in jeopardy. So I would advise you to make sure, especially those that are on some type of state or county probation parole and child support and, all that other stuff, that all your information is intact. I don't care if they say, oh, yeah, everything's good now, we're great. No, make sure you do a right to know request inquiry or go up there and ask for a printout of your current payments. Make sure everything is still in good standing with whatever that you have. Please check behind yourselves. Please make sure that you know that your information with this county is correct, because you cannot trust people who were hacked before, who were told by the insurance company to upgrade those servers, upgrade your shield, upgrade your cybersecurity, upgrade. They're going to come back and ping, pow, boom, pam. There you go. And it's not anything wrong for me to tell anyone to make sure that you are checking to see that your information with the county is intact, because people have lost property. This is a fact. This is news. And, people said, oh, something happened. No, somebody dropped the ball. It's not something happened. Somebody didn't do their job. See, it's easy when your government says, oh, someone dropped the ball. But if you drop the ball at your job, you're fired. But we all know everybody want to be comfortable because somehow this hack is because of Washington, D.C. and, and racism and, we get it. Any excuse except for the fact that the insurance company said to the powers that be, please update your systems or you will be susceptible to another hack and you will have to pay another ransom. But in this case, a ransom is not being paid. Instead, they are installing new servers, and guess what? They are not insured. They are not insured. So if you're going to be paying for them, if your children are going to be paying for them, or your grandchildren are going to be paying for them, because it seems like everybody's enacting a lot of stuff to be kicked down the road for our grandchildren, and everybody keeps saying we ain't got enough for our kids because you keep letting them tax us to oblivion. You keep letting them spend this money today and kick down the road to your children and your grandchildren. That's what you're not understanding. We got to get a stop to all of this bleeding out of money. I'm just saying, it's just too much. You can blame who you want to blame. You can put the name who you want to put the name on. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for this time, and we thank you for the people who have tuned into the wonderful world of Rich Blye to watch this segment on cmpradio.net, the voice of Chester, where we cultivate, where we have culture, maturity, and positivity in every single program that we have. We ask you to bless those who need to be blessed and heal those who need to be healed, oh Lord. And we thank you for the strength of life, and we thank you for all of those that are protected underneath your wing. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all of thine heart, and lean not to your own understanding. In all thine ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. The reason why I chose that is that I was today years old when I found out that the person who the G.I. Joe doll was inspired by was a World War II soldier. I forget his name. Please forgive me. But he was trying to take an enemy turret, and he got burned from it across his neck and chest. And as that happened, they were asking, why was he still alive? He should have been dead. And he said a pocket Bible fell out of his pocket, and it fell to a point where his mother had marked that particular chapter and verse of Proverbs before he was sent off to war. So the doll that was patterned after that was saved by a Bible. I thought that I could add that in today because that's one of my favorite verses in all of the Bible. Fusion Friday this Friday, y'all. Chester Park, come on out here. Come on out. We're going to have a ball. The kids going to have fun. We're going to have some excitement. I'm going to be out there absolutely with cmpradio.net and all of our content creators and all of the great people that are going to be out there for Fusion Fridays. Fusion Fridays, cmpradio.net. The original fun days starts with cmpradio.net. Don't forget that. Fusion Fridays in Chester Park. And then for the grown-ups this Saturday, CMP Radio with DJ Deverell and Portia Summer Heat rated R&B Leo season edition at Harris from 9 to 2. VIP tickets are still available. Okay? Still available. If you weren't there for the last one, I promise you missed something awesome. And you need to get here this Saturday. It starts at 9 o'clock. I'll be seeing you at the front door. All right. So there's some things that I want to talk about that's going on in the news over in Wilmington. You know, nothing but a 15-minute drive, stone throw right here in Chester. There was a protest march for Kadir Skinner, the young man who was shot by Wilmington police last week. The body cam footage was released to the public because it is gun related and because there are claims of excessive police responses in that area when it comes to young black men in particular. Just like in the Nolan Grant case, we don't have full information as of yet. We have to start really paying particular attention to certain things that are going on with our young black men. Now, before anybody comes at my neck, first things first, it always starts at home, of course, and it also starts with community second. I'm not asking for anybody in law enforcement to see things our way anymore. I'm not asking for politicians to look at young black men as a certain demographic and have a certain mandate to save their lives anymore as well. I'm looking at us as fathers, brothers, uncles, cousins, men of honor, people of faith. I'm looking at those mentors, those coaches. I saw, post people questioning, the commitment of coaches, why they're doing this and why they're doing that. And while I tend to agree from some experiences that I've seen, I think it's really time for us as men, especially as black men, to really live up to that quality of manhood and try to save these boys. We're doing a disservice by allowing these boys to be raised a certain way and in a certain area, doing certain things, and we have to take a double-edged sword to this, folks. And it starts in the center. It starts with us as a community and us as a family first, because even though this could quite possibly be labeled as an unjustifiable shooting, again, innocent until proven guilty. That's everyone. That should have happened to Mr. Kadir Skinner. He should have had the presumption of innocence and not been shot, in my opinion. I know some people will disagree with me, and it's okay to have a disagreement of opinion. That's just my opinion. But we'll never get to hear the other side of the story now, will we? And that's the part that's always important to me, is that now that we have to take a narrative of what we see with these cameras, rather than the due process of a human life getting apprehended, or the process of life of this person being able to defend his action in a court of law. That'll never happen. Now that's up for the family to do so. And in my opinion, that is a loss of a sense of community, not just for that family, but for all of us. So I'm going to be looking very closely at how this plays itself out, since it is very close to family, my grandson. It's in that particular area. But I also want to say about this particular area, you guys have to do some cleanups of yourselves down there, folks, in Wilmington. There's certain elements of yourselves, and I know, Wilmington, what I'm talking about. You can't ask for justice when you're doing a disservice in your own community. That's just a helpful hint that it's not a chiding. Do as you please. I cannot stop you from being who you are, but one day you're going to have to stand in judgment for what you've done. We talked about the Delco data hack, but let's talk about Sheriff Sadiq Kamara and the Facebook post that is now worldwide viral of the Delaware County Sheriff Sadiq Kamara being threatened on the official sheriff's line with derogatory slurs towards his religion, his color, his humanity. And I want to say something. I don't think that this is something that the public, I get it. I think they should have just did an investigation first as to who this person is, and then put that on display. to show the ugliness by doing the diligence of using your intelligence department, using the sheriff's department to track it down, using things at your disposal with the CRT response teams and the investigative departments of, each and every county and borough and municipality, because, some people have some high-powered stuff better than the county in their little boroughs. They know how to find some stuff real quick because they got some real good stuff. You know what I mean? Some real good stuff. And this is just my opinion, because this is now sensationalized. And the reason why I say that it's sensationalized is that here's a sheriff that was elected because of who he is, not because of his color, not because of his religion, not because of anything external. And I know lately they've had, internet commercials and they talked about his relationship with what happened in Collingdale. I want to say Collingdale. I want to say Sharon Hill, with the unfortunate death and murder of Fanta, and that he's related, to the deceased. And I'm not speaking against Sheriff Kamara, because I know Sheriff Kamara. I know him before he was sheriff. I've had great conversations with him in the past. We should catch people like this first and then put them on display, the old tar and feathering. You should play the tape while he stands right there like that sheriff down in Florida. What's that white boy down there? He catch you first, then he talk about you.
Who that?
Man, who is that sheriff that says, now take a look at this guy. Like, he holds his press conferences and he'll put the perp's picture up and will dirty talk that perp to oblivion. Yo, listen, it's comical, man. I keep forgetting his name. Somebody's going to come up and say what his name is on Facebook. I promise you. I keep forgetting his name. But I think that's how that should happen. You should publicly shame these people, these criminals. Publicly shame them to infinity and beyond. It shouldn't where they should be like right now, this guy is getting his gonads off, knowing that you posted his vile, hateful, driven rant that now is being sensationalized to a point where it's causing more division than concern. And people should see what's on there as far as comments all up and down with this. That you leave the hold on. You never leave the comment section open for anything else, but you're going to leave the comment section open this time because it works in your favor. See, I don't like stuff like that because I look at things, how people want to reset people's values based upon a situation that you should have done. And this is my opinion. I'm not a law enforcement expert, so I'm just speaking on an opinion that's just based upon nothing.
You don't think they dropped that to switch what y'all talking about with as far as the hacking?
Of course, anything race-driven is going to push the news of the hacking out.
Right.
I wouldn't say that it was used purposefully like that, but it's not.
Why not? I mean, putting it out
because I would have to that means I would have to question the integrity of the sheriff's office, and like I said,
it's not the sheriff's office.
No, he put it out.
It's not.
He put. Listen, bro.
I get what you're saying.
He put it out. He put it out.
But it wasn't.
And Sheriff Kamara, like I said, if he wants to weigh in on it,
somebody else. He works underneath of somebody else. There's somebody over top of him. So
I know. Yeah, I know.
They probably told him that it was okay for him to put it out.
Yeah, I mean, like he got the green light, but it was also coupled with a statement from Delaware County Council themselves. Right. But the sheriff's office can pretty much act independently because no. See, you have to understand do you understand the sheriff is his own elected body, bro? He's his own elected body.
He's his own elected body working for the.
Yeah, listen, I know. Who don't say it because I know, bro. But see, it's. Here's the thing.
I don't have a problem with the sheriff.
I told you. I told you. I don't have a problem with the sheriff either. I don't have a problem
with the sheriff.
I told you. I don't have a problem with the sheriff. I'm questioning the methodology of the way that the reporting is done.
Well,
that's
we will always have.
That's an opinion
because
that's an opinion.
Can give the news so that people can digest it accordingly, and we can try to understand it. I listened to the message.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel threatened. You know what I mean? What I did find was that whoever left it was probably a little inebriated. You feel me? The lisping of
the person was using a voice recorder, first of all.
Okay, so
that's one thing. That was definitely a voice recorder.
So
the second thing is that there's 3 little hitches in his voice that should be picked up very soon because that recorder isn't. It's an Amazon one. I guarantee you.
It's Amazon.
I guarantee it's an Amazon one, bro.
Rich is the one that left the phone.
Bro, listen. I'm already ruled out as a suspect, bro. I wouldn't do that.
I don't know why you would feel as though you were a suspect.
No. I wouldn't, because you know what? You know what I would do? I would call my friend the sheriff. I wouldn't call him.
So what was this about? What was it about?
Listen. People have seen him because he's been more public as of late. He's been coming out to events. He's been one of the things that I noticed personally, and I could say this personally about Sheriff Kamara, is that he always wanted to make the sheriff's office more visible.
Right.
Okay. So.
Not just goons riding around picking up.
Right. He wants to change the image of it. He's been doing some things internally, like upgrading the systems. His first day he walked in and saw a typewriter,
right,
and he was not joking about that. And that I absolutely agree with. When people don't have the right tools for a job, they don't perform well. And that's part of the reason why you have certain people behave the way that they do, because people who don't feel good about themselves don't produce good results, bro. You know what I mean? They just don't. And that's even with law enforcement officials. Right. If you being put into a car with no heat and it's wintertime and you got to get out the car to go arrest somebody, you ain't gonna be in a good mood.
I know.
I'm not saying that it's right, and you say, well, you should be more professional. Well, you go sit in a car for 12 hours with no heat. No. I'm just saying from a perspective, because remember, from a perspective,
I have worked jobs where there was heat, but there wasn't heat in my working area.
Right.
Meaning that where I had to work, it was cold.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just what you have to deal with.
Absolutely. And that's why I say from, people's perspectives versus other people's reality is that we haven't really, or I'm not saying us, but we kind of don't take that in perspective that this is a human being and anything can happen. And yes, there's a greater responsibility of someone with a badge carrying a gun. Absolutely. But again, as we put more money into law enforcement, I think that the value is in reinforcing the training. For this day and age, where we're dealing with people who have escalated their feelings beyond the points of that they cannot control themselves and are putting, people who are in law enforcement in certain situations, whereas it's unprecedented. It is unprecedented the amount that we see younger law enforcement officers who don't know the law, who don't understand the Constitution, who don't understand public photography. We have seen an escalation of SEPTA police on the, especially on the Market Frankfurt line, on the streets. So SEPTA, every bus stop where there's a SEPTA bus sign, they own that area. They own every bus stop. They own that portion of the street. They have to maintain that portion of the street. They have to maintain that grass. That if there's a trash can there, if they put it up, they put up a bench, anything on their corners. So in Kensington, it's been really coming out on reels now. They're not letting anybody get on their buses without payment. No fare evaders there, and they've been really critical on it. But in the way that they've been doing it, they're gonna catch a lawsuit soon, because some of these young hotshots are just that, young hotshots. And I don't get, and please don't, before you don't know what they deal. Yes, I do. Because the same people that these officers have dealt with are some of the same people that I've dealt with in the wintertime when they've been hungry and had no place to go. So I do know about the temperament. I do know about the attitude. I do know about the drug-induced feelings, and I do know about the coming downs, and I do know about the Frankfurt leans, and I do know all about all of that. I've been a part of this stuff since the crack era. Know all about it. So, but law enforcement, it works both ways. I'm just going to keep saying that, but I do question the fact of how this just, came about. So let's talk about the Men's Mental Health Monday Great Reset called individualism. You're going to like this one, bro. Individualism. What is individualism? Self-focus versus community thought. Individualism, self-focus. Some diagnosis of hyper-individualism suggests that isolated people trade deep community to practice active self-reflection. I want to say that at my soon-to-be age of 59, that self-individualism is absolutely working for me. I now get to chart the way I choose to live my life, and not at beck and calls, not with on whims, not with a sense of obligation anymore. And in this past 5 years, one of the things that I learned to live with is being able to live inside of myself, not live inside of my head. So this hyper individualism that I'm promoting today is the stance that I want to actively say to folks that I am taking. I am not apologizing to anyone when I tell you no, that I'm not doing something or that I'm not going to be there. I don't care. You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because when these people needed me to be there for them, I was. And when these people needed me to care about them, I cared. And when these people needed me to share from my experience and give my blood, sweat, and tears, I went along with the group to make sure that the group was successful. But now in my individualism, this hyper individualism, I'm not isolating myself from people. I'm isolating myself from the drama of people. That means that if there's drama in your life, there's a high probability that you will see very less of me. There's a high probability that I will probably converse on you of things of importance and then go about my day not thinking about you at all. There's a high probability that I will not be attending council meetings anymore. That's a very high probability. I believe that as long as the mayor keeps my name out of his mouth, certain other council people, we can all go our separate ways and we don't have to worry about nothing because, you got your own set of problems and I got mine. So, I think that if people understand where the boundaries are now, they won't have to guess or make a call or say, well, what's wrong with Rich? There's nothing wrong with Rich. I'm going back to a great reset by going back to the beginning of where I became conscious of my self-worth, my self-acceptance, a personal reminder for me to check my own pulse. You know how people like to walk into a room and say, I'm checking the temperature. I'm trying to get a feel for the room or whatever. I should be that one spot in the room where you can't check my pulse, where you can't check my temperature. And I've been really good at that. And that's the point that I'm at, is that I told that story before of how I had a regional manager who had 30 managers and 30 general managers and, about double amount of managers underneath him. And he could figure everybody out, but he couldn't figure me out. And I told him you weren't supposed to. I think it's time for me to get back to that point where people can stop assuming exactly what they think that they're going to get with me, because I think that people have taken advantage of that fact, knowing that they're going to get a certain type of compliance and a certain type of cooperation without reservation. I'm here to help you out with my Men's Mental Health Monday. The bank is closed. I will be directing my energies towards those who deserve it. And the reason why I say this is that because we have collectively tried to pinpoint some of the problems that we have with our youth and with our communities, with our women and with our children. Some of you have laid a very deaf ear, or some of you as nonprofits have profited off of this or made bigger names for yourself than what you deserve. And then you just turn around and you look at other people like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Without sharing the wealth. So at the end of the day, I think that it's only fair that I take my skills like LeBron James and trade them off into a soon-to-be rising franchise and make sure that I take that name, value, recognition, and talent and help them achieve the heights that they're going to achieve. And that's here at cmpradio.net. Be on the lookout for the soon to be seen positive changes that are going to come with me using the vast knowledge that I have. Space creation. Finding the proper emotional outlet through activities. Meditation, prayer, reaffirmation of oneself. People will avoid your feelings, but never seem to be neglectful of their own. Have you ever noticed that? It's funny how someone can come up to you, relationship or, with a situationship or whatever it is, and say, you're not in tune to how I feel. But you also aren't in tune to that person's feeling as well, because if that was the case, it would be more question than accusation. You know what I'm saying? It would be more of an understanding than a condemnation. Because sometimes with a man, it's not what's said, it's usually what's not said. It usually is that point of silence that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. It usually you get a rebuttal and now you get silence. I think that when you meet that wall, that's when you have to understand that you've come to the end. And a lot of people don't understand that there are a lot of men that come to an end at some point in time with something, and it's time for them to move on. Sometimes that decision is made for you for whatever reason, and you got to move on. Now, that doesn't stop me from loving you. Doesn't stop me from being the friend that I am. It doesn't stop any of that. It doesn't stop the commitment that I've always said that if I'm your friend, if I'm treat you as my family, I'm going to be there. This is for the ones that keep coming back somehow, some way, knocking on the door, thinking that it's easy to smile in your face and be like, well, such and so and them, well, you know how they get down, and it's not like that. I don't want to hear no more of those conversations. It's not like that. This is exactly like that. Let's not kid one another. Let's not do that. And when I say this, I'm not saying this angry. I'm not saying this mad. I'm saying that I've finally come to a point where separation is good. And like I said, with my father, with with this being the fifth year with my dad, I've come to some conclusions that this is okay and that this feels good to be able to express my individualism and my space creation, because people have avoided my feelings and they've been neglectful of them. And we'll talk about that as I go through more therapy, because I'm going to have to deal with family issues that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. You don't need a perfect week in order to move forward. You just need courage to do a reset. Confidence isn't built by never falling off track. It's built every time you begin again without judging yourself for where you have been. And I think that was part of the problem throughout the first half of this year, is that I kept judging myself and trying to find the imperfections of why things didn't work, because I was putting myself into those positions where it wasn't my fault. These things wasn't because of what I caused. These things didn't happen because of, that I did it to make it happen. These are things that I was affected by and had to build my little fort, so to speak, had to put up my shield, had to, keep climbing and claw from out of the grave, so to speak. And I put them on my back. Like, oh, here's another one I got to collect, and look what I did here, and I gotta put this on my back and show everybody. And I just come to the conclusion after last week that I just threw all of that stuff off on my back. It doesn't matter about my past anymore. I'm not responsible for being a brother's keeper, bro. I'm responsible for keeping my brothers. The ones I have. The ones that have stood by me. The ones that have been here for me. The brother that calls me in the morning and says, "You good? Just checking on you." Oh, that was me the other day. Sorry. I had to throw that one in there, bro, because I'm telling you, something just told me to call you and
I needed it.
You know what I mean?
I think over the last week I've just been dealing with a lot of me. When you talked about going back to the beginning, I realized that life has sent me to figure out some things.
Right.
My therapist didn't have to do it because I already knew what I was doing. Mm-hmm. So when I started the radio station, I was fresh off a divorce.
Right.
I started the radio station as a way to help me heal.
Right.
I didn't really heal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it was so much I had to do at the radio station.
Right.
So much I had to do with my kids. So much I had to do. So it was hard for me to heal myself. Mm-hmm. I began to drink.
Right.
I was a heavy drinker.
Mm-hmm.
The radio station first opened up. Like every show had alcohol in it.
Right.
And I understood why people looked at me the way they did. Right. I was worse then than I am now.
Right.
Now I'm something else. Mm-hmm. And it just causes me to just ask questions. So when you called me, I was in that mode of asking questions and just thinking about, who am I? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to give? Mm-hmm. And it gets hard. Yeah, it absolutely gets hard.
And bro, that's why I'm glad that I have this segments for Men's Mental Health Mondays, because I think that these resets at the top of the week are very important for us. This refocus that men have to get through a week, for some to get through a day, some to get through the next hour. But for a lot of us as brothers, having that courage to reset every single week is a task that should not be belittled by your significant other, by your children, by your family. Yes, we know the women are the backbone of the family and the home and this and that thing, but the fuel for the engine is your man. The economic engine and the economic drive should be your husband. I know a lot of you ladies make a lot of money, blah, 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 and you got husbands that make money too. Great. I'm not here to argue or debate nobody's financial structure. I'm talking about the mindset of a hierarchy of respect when it comes to doing the things that need to be done. We spend a lot of time putting a lot of emotional value to a lot of petty. I want people to understand that for me, I'm going from problem to problem solved. That when you talk to me, if you want to vent about how you feel about the problem, but you're asking me to fix it, put it in an email, because I'm not going to listen. I'm going to tune you right out. I'm being very honest for everybody in the future. Love you. But I promise that from here on out, if you come to me with a problem, I'm going to listen to the problem. But as soon as you start crying about it, as soon as you start whining about it, because that irritates me and it makes me not want to do it. I'm serious. I'm being very honest with you so you can know what you're dealing with. There are people who know me very, very, very well. Give me the task, give me the time, give me the location, and tell me how you want it, and then get out of my way. Sorry. I don't have time to hear about your sentimental value over something that you need fixed. I don't want to do that anymore with people. I don't want to share in how you feel. It sounds cold. It is. But I'd rather get the problem fixed so I can see your disposition change and see how you go from sad or angry or frustrated to upset to being happy, to being relieved, to having a sense of relief, to knowing that something is accomplished. I would rather talk then that you feel better because this is how it made you feel, and then feel better about the fact that I helped you with the process of getting the problem solved. But for too many years, I've lived in the life of what other people thought. I lived in the way that people feel. I lived that way how you felt. I don't want to do that no more. So if it seems cold, it is. But it's going to help me live. It's going to help me be successful. It's going to help me be able to understand and still navigate in this world. It doesn't make me, unloving. I'm just saying in instances where there's a conflict, struggle, problem, this, that, and the third, I'm not getting all flustered. I'm not, oh my God, that's so bad. That's so hard. I'm not doing that. What's the problem? This, that, third, and blah, blah, whatever. Can you fix that? Let me see what I can do. If I can't do it, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I can't do it. If I don't have anybody to recommend, usually, and I'm not usually recommending anybody anymore, I'm not recommending anybody anymore. I'm not recommending anybody anymore. So there you have it. Please do not test the theory about what I'm saying. I do not wish to come out of character and raise my voice anymore to people and try to get them to understand that this is something that's definite, that this is not going to change, that this is not going to be anything different. This is not going to change. Confidence isn't built by never falling off track. It is built every time you begin again without judging yourself for where you have been. One deck, one step, one reset. That's how you regrow confidence, not in the moments that go as planned, but in the moments where you choose you. Choose you. I'm saying this to young people right out of the gate. Choose you. Choose you. Not in a selfish way, not in a selfish vanity way, but choose you. We didn't get to choose us. We were told to choose community and choose group and choose groupthink. We were told to work independently. We have to work as a group, but we have to think independently. That's part of the process. We can agree on common sense topics, but there has to be some debate. There has to be some discourse before you get to a resolution, before you become to a compromise, so that way you can have this problem resolved before at the end stage of resolution. So I'm just stating the fact that moving forward, when you meet, see me out and about or whatever, phone conversations or whatever. So let me put this out here very plainly. I am not listening to anybody political whatsoever. That's Democratic Party. That's Independent Party. That's Republican Party. That's Delco Dem. That's Delco GOP. Darby GOP. Whatever GOP. Whatever Delco Dem. Whatever Independent Party. I don't care. Please don't ask me to care. And that means, please, in the future, before you give out my phone number to someone who wants to contact me for political purposes, please don't. Please don't. I want this message to get to everybody that's politically involved. I am not campaigning for anyone. I am not making any endorsements. I will not be circulating anybody's campaign literature. I will not be signing anyone's petitions. I spoke about that last week. You already got 5 people up in the county who can't handle business. You want to add on 2 guaranteed seats for anybody to come up there to do whatever y'all want to do. I don't care. I think it's a bad idea personally, but hey, who am I? I don't know anything. But yet and still, I'm getting these unsolicited texts from people who've never asked about my well-being or cared about where I'm at with my family, but you want to ask me to put my name to something when you didn't care nothing about my life, but you want my name. You want me to stand up for you, but then you watch me get degraded as a human being, as a person. You say you respect me. I've never gotten a call from these people. I've never gotten a text from these people, but you got my number from a mutual friend. Please tell my mutual friend don't ever do that again, because I don't do that for him. I don't do that. I don't give out people's numbers. Listen, folks, I do not give out people's number without checking to see if they want to talk to you. So if I say, hey, I'm going to contact this person, of course, I'm going to have a conversation with my friend first and say, hey, I have this person who wants to get in touch with you for this, that, and the third. This is what they talked to me about. And then I wait for my friend to say, it's okay. I think that a lot of people, you need to understand you are not at liberty to just sell me out to the highest bidder or to receive unsolicited, conversations about whatever somebody wants from me. When not one time did this person stand up in support of anything that I was doing, whether it be Juneteenth, whether it be the veterans, whether it be my American Legion, whether it be the Veterans Network that my brother was a part of, or his campaign, or anything like that. You guys weren't around, but you sure know how to get in touch with me because you want something from me, because you feel as though that I'm like every other black person that you come around that thinks conservatively or thinks like a moderate. Don't do that. I'm very straight up about me. There's no nothing it's about me. There's nothing that is going to make you think that I don't mean what I said. So please don't give out my phone number to people. If you have my number, please don't do that. I don't want to talk to people. Screen them. You know what I'm about, my family. You know what I'm about. You know what type of love I have for you and what I would do for you and how you do for me, my family. But if I haven't heard from you in years, what are you going to talk to me about? You see my life on Facebook. That's the funny thing. Like my family, even my family, they're on Facebook. But I don't answer calls. You want to know why? Because they don't care. That's the truth. They want to see how I'm doing, but they don't care how I'm doing. Oh, Rich, that's bad. No, it's not. Because you know why? Because I have enough love in my bloodline. I have enough love inside of me. I have enough love from my family and my friends that all of that love conquers all. And I have been able to move on since the age of 27. So, that's why I don't want people to have my number, because I don't want you to come to me and start to BS me and start to sugarcoat me, because I've made my change, and I made that change definitive as of, what time is it? 8:34 this evening. All right. Let's switch gears. It's back to school time. Yes. For some of your children, in about 2 to 3 weeks, they will be going back to school. I am just going to give some things, in my opinion, based upon observations, based upon experiences, and watching the local trends of what you should do. Number one, please, if your child is elementary school age, take the time for you to read to your child yourself. I repeat, please, and this is just my opinion, don't listen to me. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing. I'm, just an individual. But please take the time to read to your elementary school children, because today's college kids can't read. Today's 19-year-olds can't read. It is a sad statistic that we have from our black children, and I don't care how you feel about it. I'm just going to give you the fact. And if you don't do nothing with it, so what? You right. You're just going to prove that statistic right. So just go right ahead. So what? So what? But for you parents that are trying to make an impact with your child, please make sure that you read to your child, because your counterparts are, and that's why their children are smarter than your children, because they read to their kids. I promise you. They make sure their kids go to the library and read. They make sure their kids read. They make sure their kids read. They make sure their kids know how to read. They don't just say, here, take this book and go read it and shut up while you're watching your favorite sports program. No, they make their children read in front of them. They make their children read out loud. They make sure their children can spell the words. So I'm letting you know that after all the disruptions of the back to school and the kids fighting and the girls this and the boys that and every excuse that every parent wants to use, the reason why your child will not get hired is because your child cannot read. Thus, they do not know how to follow instructions because they do not know how to read the instructions, so they don't know how to hold the job. So make sure your child knows how to read. Reading is fundamental. You need to know that your child knows how to read. Okay? Hold on. Speaking of reading, let's take a moment and let's find. No, we're not going to do that one. Let's do. Hold on. A Poem, Friendship, by my favorite poet, Nikki Giovanni. My favorite. A poem of friendship. We are not lovers because of the love we make, but the love we have. We are not friends because of the laughs we spend, but the tears we save. I don't want to be near you for the thoughts we share, but the words we never have to speak. I will never miss you because of what we do, but what we are together. Friendship. Sometimes more powerful than a relationship. Absolutely. Back to school behavior, parents' do's and don'ts. Please check or have clear book bags for your kids. At certain schools, that's going to be mandatory because they are over the amount of weapons that get inside of these schools, near these schools. It is heavy, it is prevalent, it is happening, it is not a drill, it's not a joke. We see it every single year, and for some odd reason, we just can't get prepared for it. We know every single year that these kids are going to act the fool. Sometime during the week, the first week of school, they gonna act up, and we are never prepared for it. They've been doing it 5-6 years in a row, like heavily. Usually in Upper Darby, it takes about a month and a half for them to get it under control. Like, I'm serious. They start in August. It rolls through all of September, and by the time they get it under control, it's October. I'm just saying. You don't believe me? Go back and watch last year's highlights and put in Upper Darby High School violence, high school news. And all the stories will pop up. Don't get mad at me because this is KYW, this is CBS 3, this is all the TV stations that reported the chaos at your building. And this is years of us seeing for years that nobody can control these kids. That nobody can control the areas. That nobody has a plan. That it's just summertime and we'll get back in there. And then what are we going to do and everything like that, huh? You'll see. It'll be back on the news. Clear book bags. Please check the apps on your children's phones, especially these girls. Yes, I am singling out the girls. Your daughters are going to be labeled as accessories for the stuff that they're hiding and doing with these boys. The girls are doing the hiding and the tucking and the get over and the get by and the batting their eyes at their daddies, and daddies falling for it and arguing with their mom until they can weigh their mom down with the argument. Get out of here, get out of my face, blah, blah, blah. Your daughters are more crafty than your sons. Your sons are following behind the girls. These girls nowadays are absolutely ruthless. I know. I'm in the same boat with granddaughters who like to hide certain things in apps. I'm telling you, go through your child's phone. You pay the bill anyway. It is your property. Talk to the older siblings. They know. They know what your kids' sisters are doing. Oh, I know about this app, mom, blah, blah, blah. That ain't snitching. That's called family protection. That's called honor. Don't let nobody deceive you in your house by telling your kid to put something and hide it in an app so they can go out and be destructive in the streets and you wonder what happened. Also, while we're at it, you guys want to talk about we should end all this violence and everything like that. When y'all going to get on these Arabs about selling the Pooh Shiesty masks inside of your little corner stores in your black neighborhoods? These kids look like landscapers or little ninja warriors. But then as soon as trouble get down and they pull that mask down or whatever and everybody start quote unquote looking alike, everybody want to get mad and say somebody need to do something. Yeah, can we get rid of the Pooh Shiesty inside of the corner store, the Poppy store, the Mr. Arab store, the Chinese store, all of these foreigners selling all of these instruments that can be used as a weapon of crime or used nefariously, and you are still patronizing them. Don't blame me. Blame Mr. Lee. Don't blame me. Blame Mr. Ming. Don't blame me. Blame Mr. Sadiq. Don't blame me. I ain't selling Pooh Shiesty masks. I'm not selling weapons that can be used in a destructive and nefarious way. Please put some color on your kids so they can stop looking dirty and dingy. Please. Please. Little splash of color. These kids look homeless. I'm sorry. Being very honest. This is the individual in me coming out of the sympathy and worrying about how people feel. I'm saying this very plainly. Delaware County just approved a 20-year plan because they're not opening back up the juvenile justice facility out there near Fair Acres. Instead, they're going to continue to ship your kids out to Berks County, Lackawanna County, and maybe Ohio. Don't believe me? Go watch TV. Don't get mad at me because I'm telling you the truth. They just signed a 20-year deal to send your kid out of the county if they are detained and held as juveniles. All the participating counties have made a joint agreement where it's a cost-effective system because why? They're sharing the resources. Oh, they can share the resources to lock your kid up. They can share that resource to send your kid to a juvenile facility in Ohio. And you can't get there. I'm just saying. These are your public officials at work. They voted on this back in April. They just solidified the deal today. They voted back on this March and April. They already had the intangibles of how they were doing this before the summertime hit when I told you what they were about to do. They scrapped the first deal where they want to make DJ booths at that facility when they want to do it. So they just flooded that one so they can, easily collect some insurance off of it and then condemn it and turn it into affordable housing. But once again, that study was paid for. Once again, facility improvements were done to a cost of a budget in the millions, and now it's wasted, and now they have another deal where they're going to send your children out of the county to Berks, to Lackawanna, or maybe even Ohio. Because why? People have been refusing to take our delinquent children. So they have to shop them around, so to speak, literally shop them around to see who can take them. Disgusting, isn't it? Now, y'all not disgusted by that. My kid, I get some money off of that. Yeah, you could. That's a doggone shame as a parent that you can't control your situation with your child to the point that as a juvenile, they have to be shipped more than 30 minutes from where you live. More than 30 minutes. We're talking about hours of drive time. We're talking about hundreds of dollars if you had to use that prison van system. We're talking about hotel stays in another state where you might have to take an airplane flight to drive out to Ohio to go see your child for maybe an hour. Don't blame me. Go talk to Delaware County. It's in the news. Go back and look when they approved the plan back in April. Go back and listen to who was talking and who said what about your child and how pleased they are with making this deal and how pleased they are. And then you're going to go vote for them. But see, you got to read. I can't tell you. You don't believe anything I say. Who am I? But I'm telling you what I read. I'm telling you what they said. And I'm telling you, you're going to see the words, we're pleased. We're pleased with this deal. We like this one. We know that there's a need for juvenile adjudication here in Delaware County. We do realize that there are some parents who will not adhere to a certain standard and making sure that their children adhere to a certain standard here in this county. We realize that. We're not speaking against those who want to live that type of life and decide that that's what they're going to do to the death. That's fine. But what about that one kid that gets in trouble that one time? What about that kid whose family, is trying to scrape up bail money to get their kid out or trying to put together a home plan to try to keep that loved one from going out to these counties and then getting a bad public defender or not getting enough representation or whatever, and then they get adjudicated to these institutions outside of the county, and because they know that these kids don't have that support here, you're sending them to another gang, and you're sending them into unfamiliar territory where they literally have to fight for their lives. And then you wonder why all of these commercials are popping up talking about, were you held at a juvenile detention facility in Illinois? And you're like, wait a minute, why am I seeing ads in Pennsylvania for Illinois ads? Because you're going to see some kids that were sent out to Ohio and these other states where they were abused because no family came for them and people were predatory and they did what they did. This is why this is a need for this, because it has happened. Do you know that over 2,300 children go missing every day in the United States, and that every year we lose over 400,000 youth every year through trafficking and or rape, incest, this, that, and the third, kidnapping? So I'm here to say, check them apps on them phones. You got some crafty men out here, some crafty women that want your child. They want to see your child strung out. They want to see your child go, not much. Yeah, your kid. I'm trying to tell you, some of y'all think y'all kids are straight edge. I'm here to let you know. You better go check. I'd rather you be safe than sorry and have to find out later that your kid's been a liar. Now you got to hide it from the news, and the news going to put out everything about you, your family, what you used to do, how you used to do it, and this, that, and the third, or whatever. So I'm just saying to folks, look here, get your house in order. I'm not telling you. I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting, because we're seeing more and more of this clandestine type of behavior happening, and now we're finding out through these apps and social media, and this person saying this, and this person not doing this, and people manipulating that, and that they can make up an app, AI is involved, this, that, and the third. It's too much, folks. It's too much. That's too much. That's too much work. I couldn't be a parent today. That's too much work. But it's what you allow, though. Just want to say, school's coming. Clear book bags, check the apps on the phones, and check for signs of your child being bullied. Bullying in our schools in Delaware County are at an all-time high. You will not get accurate numbers on the bullying because the schools downplay all instances. That's inside the school and that is outside the school. You have some school administrators who will find any reason not to deal with you with the bullying with their child, with your child. They'll allow your child to be bullied, and then when nothing's done about it the first, second, third, or fourth time, your child will automatically, instinctively become part of the bullying crowd and turn into an aggressor to keep themselves from being bullied, going along with the in crowd. This has been known since the dawn of time. It is still happening. Please look for signs of bullying in your family and your children, for and or against, and get that stuff cut out. Because there's a lot of parents nowadays that ain't going to play with your kid no more. I'm just trying to send some helpful hints out here for a lot of you young parents, y'all young gunners. I get it. But if you're not noticing on the news, there's a lot of people around my age that are not tolerating your logic. We don't care what you think. Your thinking is erratic. It doesn't have any common sense. We know that you got a 30-minute outburst, and all we got to do is just wait 15 minutes because we only have to deal with you for 15 minutes, and all of that energy will just dissipate. So always give young people 15 minutes of that screaming, hollering crap. Let them go ahead, rant and rave for 15 minutes. Then you only have to really deal with them for 15 minutes because all that energy is going to get sucked out of them right away. That's a helpful hint just to let you know. For all of those who don't participate in the hypersexualization of your children with today's rap music, please be aware that the hypersexualization of your children extends to the bathrooms where they do certain things to your kids inside of the bathrooms, like show their genitals to each other or force kids to show their genitals to other kids or they can't get out of the bathroom. Please talk to your children before school starts, because this is happening at school-age children's at the elementary school level, and definitely at the junior high and high school level amongst the boys. Please talk to your teenager this year, if you haven't already had the conversation, about abstinence and or safe sex. AIDS, HIV, and all of these STDs are on the rise. I don't even want to talk about teenage pregnancy, because at the end of the day, it's more about these kids and their organs burning and them passing these lethal diseases to each other because they are not paying attention in biology and anatomy class to understand about safe sex, or the conversation isn't being held about safe sex, and that sexual STD numbers are on the rise here in Delaware County. They are not decreasing. They are rising. There are people that are making sure that, the family doesn't get judged. So a lot of people out here, their families, doctors, nurses, or have access to family doctors, nurses. So everything does not go through the Center of Disease Controls as a number. I know plenty of people that get that shot, get that pill, and no doctor have seen them, but they got the medicine for it. So let's make sure that your children are being talked about the hypersexualization that's going on in these schools before they get back to school this year, because it is happening. Even if your child is not involved in it, you need to have the conversation so that when it happens, they know that they can come to you and not be afraid of being bullied or hypersexualized. Protect your child by being proactive and not being reactive. We live in a world where this is happening. It does not mean it won't happen to you. It just hasn't happened to you yet. Be prepared. Please set the standards and stick with it. I've noticed in certain families that, the standards are kind of flexible and the children can be argumentative to a certain degree, and they're not. Listen, I can't tell you how to run your house. I'm not trying to do that. But please understand that sometimes your children come to employers and expect that the way that you treat them, that's the way that we're supposed to treat them. And I'm here to tell you that that's not going to happen. There's too much competition out there. Nobody wants to hire your bratty kid. Nobody wants to hire your mouthy kid. Nobody wants to hire your mouthy, attitude, late to work, coming to work high kid. Nobody wants that no more. Nobody, and guess what? Nobody owes your kid a job. Jobs are earned, not given. Jobs are earned, not given. And if you think somebody should give you a job just because of the color of your skin, you're an idiot. That makes you more unqualified than anybody else that's applying for the job. And we see that happening. And we need to stop that type of thinking with our children. Jobs are earned. Positions are earned. You earn your position. Why are you teaching your kid that somebody owes them something? You're setting them up to fail. Stop with that hypothetical pie in the sky. Oh, because my family was slaves. But we're also sick of that, bro. Your family survived slavery. Your family, somewhere down the line, has done some great things. They ain't got nothing to do with slavery. It's got to do everything with freedom. It's got to do with entrepreneurship. It's got to do with hustle. It's got to do with faith, and it's got to do with fighting and standing up for this country.
So were we allowed to do that and still be seen as human? Yes or no? It's a yes or no answer.
No.
Yeah. So how can anyone sit there and say that we were even? Or that
I'm not saying we're even.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that everybody else that has been slaves all around the world.
Yeah, we're not worried about the slaves.
Okay, there we go. That's my point. That's my point. We're not. No. Right. And guess what? Every other civilization, whether it's here in America, whether it's somewhere across the planet, has picked themselves up as a civilization.
It's because they knew where they were.
No. Okay. Hold on, bro. Okay.
They knew where they were. So you're saying the Chinese or the Japanese that came here and built the railroad, they knew who they were. They knew what country they came from. They knew exactly where they came from. So they knew what they could go back to. So they had heritage. Who else you talking about?
Bro.
The Irish, they knew who they were.
Bro.
The Italian, they knew who they were.
Bro.
Right? When you think of...
They have misled you with this slave story stuff. We have history that predates slavery here in America.
Regardless.
And every time they keep...
There was no such thing as slavery?
I'm not saying this. No. I didn't say... Listen. I did not say that there was no such thing as slavery. I did not say that people didn't come over here on a boat. What I'm saying is that if we're going to raise our culture like everyone else, we got to get off of we were slaves, because that's where it starts, and it
Why
keeps.
Can't the slaves just get paid,
bro? I'm gonna say this again.
That's how you'll get us.
I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say this again. How can you just arbitrarily give financial reparations to certain people who did not come from the ancestry of slavery, or do not have a record of being here during the time of slavery? No. I'm gonna say this again. There are people who did not come to America and were under the period
you find that out?
of slavery.
Now you find that out? Are you black? Are you black from another country? You ain't black from Haiti? You ain't black from Africa? Are you black? You been here? Let's go back to your grandmother. Where would she come from? Did she come from down south? Bingo. Did your people migrate here? Bingo.
So again,
there it is right there. For the people that were already here.
Right.
And they did not come over
we have
on
to,
a boat.
We have to have certain. I'm gonna tell you like this. In order for this conversation to go forward, it has to have something substantial that everyone can agree upon.
Yeah, money.
Okay, no. It's not the money. It's not the money.
It is the money.
No. It's the distribution of money, bro. It's not the money. It's not the money. It's really not the. It's not. I'm trying to tell you.
How much money do you think a family should get?
What, a family that qualifies?
Yes.
A qualifying family. No, bro. A qualifying family.
Please don't do that. That's
Just because you came to America and you black, don't mean you get no money. You didn't break your back. Your family didn't get whipped.
So check this.
Your family didn't get. Hold on, bro. Hold on, we're talking about American slavery, American reparations, right? Here we go. Because I'm gonna get on. Because now I'm.
You're taking it down the street.
No, because
I'm not asking to go down the street. I'm asking you to stay right here in front of this house. Yeah. So let's stay right here in front of this house. When you said a qualifying family.
Yes, a qualified family.
So from the rip, do you speak another language? No. If you don't speak Haitian, or you don't speak Creole, or you don't speak French, or you don't speak Guyanese, or any language or any dialect that is from the African diaspora, if you don't have that in you, then you are African, quote unquote, American, right? Jesse Jackson came up with the name.
I'm not African, bro. I'm not African. I'm not African.
But they don't feel like you an American either. So the
okay. So watch this. So again, hold on. I don't care what they feel. This is the litmus test. This is what I'm talking about. I don't care what they feel.
You should.
No. I don't. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why.
Wow.
Because the only thing that matters to those who hold the money is not what you say or not what you think. It's what you can prove. That is the basis and the foundation of America.
What can you prove?
It's what you can prove. If you can prove your bloodline lineage here in America for American reparations through an act of Congress that actively says that, yes, we did this in this area. We depressed these people. We depressed this area.
People still being depressed here.
Hold on. Not only did we do it once, but we did it twice. Right?
Three times.
Hold on. There are certain.
We've been doing it for the last 60 years.
But I want you to understand, bro, and I'm trying to tell certain people. There are certain people that are getting this restorative, reparative type of reparations right now on the state level. Asheville, North Carolina. On the state level. Okay? It is happening. You know what the litmus test is?
Wow.
Proving your bloodline lineage in that area.
How do you prove it?
Records.
What records?
The city of Asheville's records are
How do
pretty.
you prove it in Chester?
Huh?
You don't prove it.
Yeah, you can.
Huh?
Yeah, you can.
How?
You guys have archives, bro.
Nigga, they ain't got no archives with no niggas in them.
Yes, they do.
They got archives with, boy.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. How long you think some of these people been owning their houses, bro?
How do you think some of these
How do you think these people have been owning their houses for so
How do
long?
you think these people, how did you just say?
They just don't know how to apply it, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Right. So if they don't know how to apply it, they need somebody to teach it to them. And they don't need somebody to teach it to them that's sitting there talking about, can you really apply for this? Does it?
Yes, you can. Because you know why, bro? Because you have to weed out the scammers.
Oh, man.
Yes, you do. Because everything with money, anything with money with black people comes with a scam. Anything with money, and I'm gonna say this very plainly. Anything with us has always come with a scam.
Everything with
Okay,
us.
everything. So if we do this at the top heavy part of it and say, hey,
do you know why?
I do know why. Because it's all
Go ahead, say it.
they have to devalue and discredit the validity of why this is purposeful.
No.
Yeah, they do.
Not just that. Not just that. Because anything that has ever been given out has been scammed, not just by us, but by white people. Anything that happens. This country was founded on illegalities. This country was stolen from the people that were here before. They were given beans and crackers for their land because they didn't know. So this country, which I love very much, you feel me? It's a very nice country. It's nice. I like it. I ain't complaining.
I wouldn't say stolen, I say conquered. Because we're prisoners of war.
Regardless if we're prisoners of war, if we're prisoners of war that ain't not supposed to be here, when does the war happen to set us free?
We don't have enough men. What? I'm being honest. We don't have enough men.
Hey man, I think
we don't have enough men. Do we have enough men?
I think we do.
No, excuse me. You know what I'm talking about.
Ah man. Listen.
Okay, I'm not talking about biological males.
Nah.
I'm talking about men.
No. But we already know that.
Okay.
But why don't
we're already outnumbered?
But isn't that a part of their system to outnumber us?
No, that's
you feel me? To keep us weak.
That's a part of a genocidal system that people have bought into by aborting your babies and allowing them to go into prison systems because you refuse to do the things like basic parenting and keeping these things out of their hands.
Know what basic parenting?
Basic parenting, you know what basic parenting is.
We're talking about people.
You know you ain't supposed to smoke weed around your 2-year-old child. You know you ain't supposed to do that.
Mom smoke crack around me, nigga. Mom smoke weed and crack around me and drunk around me. Like,
see, that's what I mean. Basic parenting.
We're so many generations past basic parenting.
Basic parenting. Basic parenting. But that's what we see. These children don't know their ABCs, but they know every rap song that come on.
Do you think people need to be taught?
Yes.
Basic parenting.
Yes.
Do you think you can teach them?
No.
Right. So if you can't teach them, what they tell you? If you can't teach it, what you supposed to do? Shut the fuck up and let the teacher teach.
Listen, I'm gonna say it like this. I know that there are people that can teach it. I can't be one of them because what I'm going to teach, they're not going to adhere to. It's going to have a value. It's not just going to be a parent if a parent is sick so I can go and get on my Xbox as a man or I can go out with my girls as a woman. Because that's what a lot of these parents are doing. They just, putting tablets and stuff in front of their kids' hands so they can go back and play their PlayStation. I've seen a lot of these fathers are horrible, bro. Horrible dads. Horrible. They ain't spending not one dime with these kids. They spending on them. They doing stuff for the show. But primarily, these bulls is on video games. On video games. I'm not saying all of the women out there, but some of these women are just living just enough for the city to get through the week, to throw your kid over to your grandma or your grandma's house, something like that, so you can go shake your ass. I'm not saying that for every woman. And I'm not saying that, hey, these young people don't deserve to, take a break and get out. But I want to say this. There was no such thing as a break. When I was raising my kids, ain't no break. Ain't no break. I don't need no break. Now, if my mom wanted the kids, that was me taking advantage of a situation in a positive way because I don't have my kids, so I'm going to go out and party because my mom had the kids. But I couldn't take my kids to my mother and say, hey, can you watch them? My dad didn't babysit, okay, at all. Now, my dad might have taken them out to dinner and, go to this toy store or something like that. He was good for doing, Toys R Us and everything like that. So I know he would have the kids for a couple of hours. So I would maximize that opportunity of my dad having the kids. I wound up going along with it because my dad was treating. So, I ain't going to miss out on that too. But at the end of the day, there was no such thing as a break. I don't know what that is, but that's just today's world. But you have to look at it. You're asking me to trust and believe in people who are doing worse than us cognitively at that age when we were. That means that you can't think, young people. You don't have the cognitive ability. That's what it means. That you don't have the emotional intelligence to cognitively think and do deductive things on your own without being told or having to be reminded or having to be yelled at. That's your generation. So sorry, don't get mad at me because they've already done the study on you. Just like when you go to college and you see that reel with the girl that's 19 says she been out of a relationship for 2 years at 17, 19, I'm single, but I'm a mechanical engineer and she can't read a sentence. Stop embarrassing yourselves. Stop embarrassing yourselves. You guys cannot even read on a 12th grade level. Stop it. I'm not going to have arguments with people in a common sense way when you cannot read. How are you going to teach me anything or tell me anything just because you heard something, just because you saw something, just because it was closed captioned on the screen? You're not reading. You're not a thorough reader to be able to tell me something about life. So I'm just want to let you know about that individualism. I'm going to hear you speak. I'm going to know by your conversations what kind of books you do not read. And then I'm going to say, excuse me, and keep it moving. See you on the flip side.